What's up, everybody? Welcome back to This into That, where we're going to turn this into that. So let's get to it. Today we're turning a metal hit into a classic horror stinger sound. Okay, so got this metal recording here. I always start off with EQ on my chain, not doing anything with it in particular on this one. Next up, we've got Soothe, and I'm using it in a particular way this time. A friend recently taught me about running Soothe in Delta mode, which is super cool. All the resonances that Soothe basically suppresses, you can put it in Delta mode and it will output only those resonances, which is a great way of clearing out noise and leaving you with some really cool tonal material. I've got the depth set almost all the way up, sharpness almost all the way up, selectivity all the way up, so I'm getting just those resonances and not a lot of noise profile. And then it's in Delta mode, importantly. And I've got it so that it's mostly only giving me the resonances of the top end, nothing from the low end. So this is what it sounds like. Next, we're throwing on Subquake. This is a really cool plugin from Cargo Cult. Basically, it is a subharmonic generator. It's triggered by the audio coming in, and then it follows the envelope shape that you define down here. And you have 3 oscillators to choose from. There's a noise oscillator, which I have almost all the way up here. There's a sine wave generator down here, which I currently have set at 45 hertz, and it is gained about halfway up. And then I have a lower pitch at 34 hertz for that really low sub, and that's turned all the way up. And I'm filtering down below 20 hertz and filtering off above 120 hertz. And I've given it a little bit of drive. I've brought the dry signal all the way up, and the wet signal is down just above halfway, probably at around 60%. So that's what this sounds like. Okay. Next, from Plugin Alliance, I am using the Elysia Envelope. This is a transient shaper, similar to the SBL Transient Designer or Spiff from OX Sound. I'm using this one in full range mode today. I've got the attack pulled up significantly. I've got the sustain also pulled up a little bit, and it sounds like this. Just giving a bit more body and a bit more snap. Now I'm using the Kilohertz Resonator. This is really cool for adding a specific tone. I've got it set way up at G sharp on the 7th octave of the keyboard, so way high. I've got the decay turned up a little bit. Intensity is set at about 30%, and the mix is at about 50%, and it sounds like this. So it's adding that really high, sharp tone up top to help give that piercing quality that you often hear with horror stingers. Next, I've got it feeding into reverb. I'm aiming to increase the time. This is a time percentage increaser on this specific resonance. I'm basically pulling down around some of the tones on either side to stop it from being noisy and to focus more on the tonal quality. I've got the character turned all the way up for a nice chorusy effect. Distance set all the way down so that it's a lot of early reflections, and then the width set at 100% and mix at about 35%. Next up, we've got Echo Boy. This is a really fun delay plugin from Sound Toys. I've got this set in dual mode over here, and then each of these set at 1/8, so it sounds like this. And that's what's giving us those little delayed kind of at the end. It's also important to note I've got the low cut turned more than halfway up so that we're not creating a delay on the bass. It's purely focusing on the high end. And last but not least, I'm doing some tonal shaping with EQ. The sound is pretty bright at this point, so I'm using my high shelf here as like a multi-band compressor to help tame some of those highs, giving a bit of body around 800, pulling out a low boxy resonance around 330, boosting around 110 for some low warmth, and then pulling down just a touch of the really low lows that I added earlier with Subquake. And that sounds much more balanced to my ear. So that's how we turn a metal impact into a classic horror stinger. Before and after. Thanks for watching. I hope you learned something from this. If you enjoy this series, comment down below. Let me know what sounds you'd like to hear me manipulate next. I'll give it a shot, and I'll see you on the next one.